the Cork accountancy market this year has been extremely busy. Um, it's probably been the busiest year I can recall since maybe going back to 2005. Um, Started last year, I think, towards the end of October, early November, we saw some increased activity, some new jobs coming in, a lot more jobs being advertised. So, given the 6 months we'd had previously, um, we were delighted to see some good activity coming through in quarter 4, which is traditionally a good quarter in Cork if you're a finance recruiter. So um, the activity was good in quarter 4 last year. That continued into January, February, March, and then it really ramped up throughout the summer period. July and August was some of the busiest months we'd seen for a long, long time. So a really, really busy year. Every sector seemed to be busy. The health service was busy. The financial services sector was busy. The big four guys were busy. And there was a lot of SME clients who were coming back to us for the first time in a while. And of course, we have probably 180 multinationals down here, some big names: Apple, Amazon, Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson, and of course they were busy this year, given the year that some of those guys have had. So I think for the first time in a while, accountants have had a really good choice in Cork across all levels, which is important. And it just wasn't a market dominated by the multinational sector. We do depend on the multinational sector; they do employ a lot of accountants, but it's good to see a spread of jobs. I think in 2022 we're going to see a lot of the same. We're going to see continued demand within the financial services sector from clients like Alta Domus, Citco, Bank of New York, who are all recruiting and recruiting accountants in big numbers. The big four are going to continue to recruit. They've got a lot of roles advertised and roles that are remote as well. So they're not just for Cork; they can be anywhere in Munster. So I think, across the board, I think 2022 should be another very, very good year for finance recruitment and accounting recruitment here in Cork. Yeah, I think we'll see. I think we'll see wage increases, in line with the national average. I think the ESRI recently came out with, um, a 5% increase across the board, on average, and I think we'll see that in Cork. But I think the bigger question really is what are companies offering alongside the base salary? So, again, you look at the multinational sector in Cork, the bigger companies, they're able to offer, or they do offer, sorry, pension, health, working from home, hybrid solutions, very good holidays. And I think if you're an SME client in Cork and you're coming on the market, then being aware of that and being aware of what you're competing against in terms of what's on offer is a good thing to look at before you actually do put your job out there and decide what you're going to offer. So I think in Cork, I think, we do need to see a wage increase. We fundamentally, going back to the answer to the first question, there is um, there is a divide between salaries in Cork versus Dublin, and I think we would have a lot more Cork people coming back to live in Cork if the salaries improved in down here. So I think we'll take the 5%. We could probably do a 10% just to catch up with Dublin. But I think overall, employers need to look at what's on offer. What are they offering across the board, including benefits, including hybrid working and remote working, because this is going to be key in 2022 to attract the talent that they want to attract. I think in 2022, we're going to see a really good range of activity across multiple sectors: public sector, private sector, the professional accounting sector, the financial services sector. But I think of late, the announcements that have really caught my eye in Cork have been the tech companies that are opening in Cork. Most of them coming from the US, and these guys are going to be opening, a variety of different sized companies, but they're going to be offering opportunities again for accountants from different multinational sectors to work in that area. In Cork, we do have a lot of cybersecurity companies, and they've been here for a while. But now there's a mix of tech companies arriving in Cork, and I think this is benefiting this market, obviously the accounting market and also the IT market. So keep an eye on that one for 2022. And then I really like the financial services sector. I really like what's happening with Citco, Bank of New York, and Alta Domus. I think they're quietly growing and expanding and putting out a lot of vacancies at the minute, and some really fantastic names. So keep an eye on the financial service sector in Cork in 2022 as well. So I think here in Cork, in the accounting market, the main challenge facing employers is the skills shortage. So, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So I think I'm reminded of a conversation I actually had last week with a client, an SME client, a very good customer. and they hadn't recruited in a while, and they were asking questions about how they recruit and shortlisting, and a lot of different questions that maybe would have been traditional questions. And my advice to them really was that, well, it's an old recruiter's phrase. It's like never sit on a good CV. So my advice to them was a couple of things. Write a very good job spec. Think about what's on offer. Think about what they're offering. Think about what their competitors are offering. Build in hybrid working, remote working, and all the other benefits, both financial and non-financial, that they can offer as well. So I think I sent them back, I suppose, rethinking what was an offer. I sent them back thinking about when they would even interview, because if they did find a good CV, I was encouraging them to move on that CV quickly, to engage the candidate quickly, so they could promote their opportunity quickly by using, virtual Teams or Zoom meeting, etc., etc. So, in summary, the challenges for employers are to, I suppose, do away with the old ideas of how a recruitment process works, because right now we can't afford to wait for CVs. We've got to move on the good ones. We've got to think about what's on offer. We've got to write new job descriptions. And so I think it's really important for employers to be aware of the market conditions that they're recruiting in, and to adjust their strategy around that. I suppose I could give a lot of advice to candidates looking in general, but I think right now I suppose, there's a really, really good market waiting for them if they come on the market, and that should continue into the first quarter of next year. They may expect to get maybe more than one interview, and they may see more than one opportunity, and to be prepared for that. But I would go back to candidate rules that I do like to communicate to people. I suppose, do write a very, very good CV, do take time to prepare it, do engage with people like myself, and we can give you advice on, obviously, on the CV and on the market as well. Do consult with the salary service for sure. I think that's really, really key as well. And obviously there's the Brightwater salary survey, which is a good benchmark if they're coming on the market as well. So, as always, I would say the candidates treat it as a process. Consult with people in the market like ourselves, and we'd be delighted to help. And I suppose, yeah, I look, it's probably the best market we've seen in 15 years. So it's a good time to be coming on the market. To employers, I would probably, well, if I can focus on maybe employers who are within the SME sector, particularly here in Cork, because they've got to compete with the multinational sector for talent. So I think for the SME sector, and I have a number of good customers in this sector as well, I would say write a very good job description. That's key. Before you come on the market, think about what's on offer. Think about what your competitors are offering. Think about what the market is offering. Think about what we've been through over the last 19 months, and know what candidates are expecting. If you are advertising for a role in the next couple of months, you are coming into a market where there's a skill shortage. So therefore, if you get a good CV, you can't wait. You can't sit on a good CV. You've got to engage the candidate. You've got to start promoting the role, and that's just key at the minute. So look, don't sit on a good CV. Write a good job spec. Give us a call if you need any advice on the processes and the market and salary surveys, etc., etc. But so I think for employers, whilst we've had 19, 20 months of a pandemic, and we've had people be very hesitant to come onto the job market, I think the word is now out there. The narrative is changing. The accounting market in Cork is the best we've seen it, and therefore candidates will be coming on the market. So therefore we would encourage employers to plan their recruitment for early in 2022, because we do expect to see a really good increase in candidates coming onto the market in January and February, and it's a really good time to recruit traditionally, and I think it will be as well in 2022.